Hey, welcome to another episode of Healthy Living Resources. Today we have two special guests in which they're going to be talking turkey. So stay tuned. Hey, welcome to another episode of Healthy Living Resources. I'm Patrick Dangles. We're going to be talking with Alisha Barton and Amanda Bohlen, who are going to be talking turkey with us. Since Thanksgiving's right around the corner, there's a lot of possible misconceptions about what do we do with turkey and keeping us safe. So first of all, Alisha, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do at Ohio State University.
I am Alisha Barton. I am a family and consumer science educator in Miami County, which is the county just north of Dayton.
And how long have you been working with the Family Consumer Sciences program at Ohio State University?
I actually hit my 4-year mark in 5 days.
Very good, very good. And let's turn our attention to Amanda Bohlen. Amanda, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Patrick. My name is Amanda Bohlen. I'm the Family and Consumer Science Educator in Washington County, so in the southeast corner of the state, Marietta, right next to West Virginia. I am also area leader of Area 20, so I supervise the Noble, Monroe, Guernsey, and Belmont Extension offices, and I have been with Extension for 5 years.
Oh, very good, very good. During different holidays, we enjoy certain kinds of meals. And obviously on Thanksgiving, we're all looking forward to a great Thanksgiving dinner. So let's talk a little bit about some of the safety things we as individuals should know in handling turkeys and preparing turkeys.
Yeah, well, turkey's usually the star of your Thanksgiving dinner, right?
Yes.
I don't know how your family is. We don't enjoy, in my opinion, we don't enjoy turkey enough. We usually only have it a couple of times a year and save that big, whole, impressive bird just for Thanksgiving. And so because we're only cooking it once, maybe twice a year, cooking a turkey for Thanksgiving can seem really intimidating. And so we get a lot of questions in our office about how do I thaw my turkey? What do I do it? When should I, how long do I cook it? How big of a turkey should I buy? And so Amanda and I want to answer those questions today. And our intention today is to make cooking a turkey seem really, really easy. So we put together 10 of the most common questions that we get between us. And so we're just going to cover those today. So the very first one we get is, when should I buy my turkey? A lot of people are looking to buy a large bird. They don't have a huge refrigerator. So sometimes refrigerator or freezer space can be an issue. And so they're, just checking when should I make this purchase? So if you're buying a frozen turkey, you can buy it anytime. Amanda's going to talk a little bit later about thawing, but you can stick that turkey in your freezer and it's there whenever you need it. You just need to take it out to thaw. So you can sit in your freezer space and buy it whenever it's on sale. They get really, really cheap this time of year. So if you see, especially good sale on turkeys, now might be a good time to buy it, throw it in your freezer for the big day. If you're buying a fresh one, you want to make sure you check the label or the date on the turkey and make sure that you're going to be cooking that turkey by that date. So that expiration date, you want to make sure your turkey is cooked by that expiration date. If there's no date on it, then buy it 2 days before you plan to cook it.
So kind of the next big question we get is, what size of turkey should I buy? Depending on how many guests you have and your refrigerator space, you've got to take that into account. The general rule is about 1 pound of turkey per person. So this is going to be enough turkey for the main meal itself. And then my favorite part, our leftover turkey. A larger turkey, so a 16-pound turkey, is actually going to yield about 2 servings per pound. So if you are buying a larger turkey, you are going to be able to get a little more servings per pound than if you were buying a smaller one. So we kind of take that general rule into thumb, 1 pound per person when buying a turkey.
You know, and keep in mind too, when you're buying a turkey, oftentimes we think of just that big, huge bird that you buy. It really can be a turkey breast, like the boneless, skinless turkey breast. It doesn't just have to be that large, turkey on the carcass. It can just be a turkey breast, or even there's a turkey farm by me that sells turkey tenderloins that are really good. So it could be any other cut of meat, but that same pound rule that Amanda gave you just will apply. So the next question we get quite a bit is, how long can I keep a turkey in the freezer? This one's really easy. Food poisoning bacteria doesn't grow in the freezer, or it's drastically reduced, so your turkey is safe when it's frozen. However, sometimes the quality comes into question, so it's really best if you use a frozen turkey within a year of freezing it. So that one's pretty easy. If you've got a turkey in your freezer, try to use it within a year, but go ahead and stick it in the freezer.
Biggest one we see is how to safely thaw a turkey, right? We're buying this huge frozen whole turkey, and we tend to underestimate the amount of time that this turkey needs to thaw. So best rule is to be able to stick it in the fridge and let it thaw in the fridge. That's perfect scenario. So if you're doing that, we want to allow 1 day for every 5 pounds for the turkey to thaw. So if you've got a 4 to 12 pound turkey, it's going to take 1 to 3 days to thaw in your fridge. If you've got a slightly larger one, like my family, we'll get a 12 to 16 pound turkey. So that's going to take 3 to 4 days to thaw in the fridge. Your second option, if you are running short on time and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to stick my turkey in the refrigerator, you can thaw your turkey safely in cold water. So you're simply just filling your sink with cold water and placing your turkey in it. And then you need to change your water every 30 minutes. So that's to help cut down on that bacteria. If you're doing it that way, a 12-pound turkey is going to take approximately 6 hours to thaw by changing your water every 30 minutes. So if you've got a larger turkey and thawing it in the fridge is not an option, and you want to thaw it in cold water in your sink, for a 20-pound turkey, you're looking at about 10 hours for that turkey to thaw completely in order for you to be able to cook. You can thaw in the microwave. That legitimately can be done. We want to make sure we're turning frequently. So if you've got a smaller turkey and you want to use that method to thaw, you are more than welcome to. But just make sure if you're thawing in cold water or in the microwave, you are immediately cooking that turkey right afterwards. You can't thaw it in the sink and then put it in the fridge to cook the next day. We really want to cut down on that bacteria that could potentially grow. So we want to, after we thaw in cold water or thaw in the microwave, immediately cook that bird. And the last big no-no is please, please, please do not set your turkey on the counter to thaw at room temperature. That puts the bird too long in what's known as the temperature danger zone for bacteria to growth. And the last thing we want is for you to make your family or your guests sick.
That is the ideal Thanksgiving nightmare, right? Food poisoning from your turkey on the counter. So like Amanda said, that is the question we get the most, is how to thaw. And thawing a turkey takes some planning. You have to plan ahead 3 or 4 days. Have that turkey in your refrigerator. You have to have that space in your refrigerator. And so it does take some preparation and some thought to be ready for that.
Curiosity, when you say people get sick, is it like food poisoning? What kind of sickness do you get, from turkeys?
So poultry is linked to a foodborne illness. So you could potentially get food poisoning. So then you would have those typical foodborne illness symptoms of vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal cramps that nobody wants after Thanksgiving.
Is there a lot of that goes around? Sickness?
Yes, and a lot of it is sometimes misdiagnosed because you think you
Oh,
just have a stomach bug.
oh, I see. I see.
The 24-hour flu. Mhm.
Because I noticed that we prepare our turkeys a lot different than when I was a young lad watching my mother leave the turkey in a sink to defraw, to thaw out. And I know that there wasn't as much safety issues back then as there is today.
Yeah, we definitely have more of an awareness of the illness that we can get from food and better food safety practices. Yeah, that's just a really good basic practice to get in the habit of thawing your turkey the correct way, placing it in the fridge or doing it in the cold water. People ask, can I put it in my garage to thaw instead of on my counter? I don't have the room in my refrigerator. Really, you're not sure what temperature it is in your garage. It was kind of chilly in my house this morning. Now it's warming up. The sun is out. So, I don't know what temperature it is in my garage anymore, but I know my refrigerator, I can control that temperature. I can see what it is on the dial or with the thermometer that I have in my refrigerator. And that really is the safest way to do it.
That's interesting.
And, there's been a couple times too, last year, the year before, I cooked a little larger bird than I was used to and miscalculated my thawing time in the refrigerator. So when it came out, it was still a little frozen on the inside. And so I just ran it under cold water. Did the cold water method for about an hour. And then, like Amanda said, immediately cooked that bird so that it wasn't, so that I was still, handling it safely. So you could do, if you get it out of the refrigerator, you've still got some spots that are hard, especially I wanted to rub mine and put some stuff inside of it. So I just ran it under some cold water for a little while to get it completely thawed to where I could prepare it and then get it roasting.
So, Alisha, a lot of times, we hear to wash your produce, to, wash your items before you eat them. What about washing your turkey?
Yeah, don't do that. Amanda and I were talking about this the other day. One of my funniest memories, I really do share this with, it was a fond memory. Several times I walked into the kitchen and saw my grandma washing her turkey, and we would kind of joke about, grandma has to wash the bird. And she would joke that she was giving it a bubble bath, and she would really suds it up with dish soap and then rinse it really well before she cooked it. And that's actually how she handles all her poultry, is she washes it very thoroughly. But yeah, you don't want to give your turkey a bubble bath. It is not safe to wash your turkey. And this also, Patrick, is really similar to what you just talked about. This is something that has changed that your mother or your grandmother may be doing differently, because this is newer in the food safety recommendations. But we recommend that you don't do this, because the bacteria that's on your turkey or on your chicken is going to be killed during cooking. So there's no need for washing it. In fact, we found that washing it makes the environment around it unsafe. So you're your bird in your sink, you're sudsing it up, giving it some, a little spa treatment before you roast it. And you're spreading that bacteria to your dish towels and to your cutting board and to your maybe that's on the counter to be prepped and put in other dishes, towels and rags. You're spreading all of those things around your kitchen, and now you've got lots of contaminated things from washing your turkey. So that also is a big step in the process too, is don't give your turkey a bubble bath. And I have really fond memories of my grandma and her cooking, but that's something that kind of gives me a chuckle now as an adult.
Well, I noticed that my mother, now this was 50, 60 years ago, she would rinse it.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, rinsing it, giving it a bubble bath. Yeah.
No bubble baths. Just out of curiosity, when they process a turkey at a turkey farm, do they immediately freeze that? What is would you happen to know that when the turkey is ready to be sold on the market, is it then frozen, or is it frozen by the food companies that get the turkeys? Or do we know?
It's going to get frozen at the processing plant.
Okay. And so it's continually frozen until we take it home. Is that correct?
Yes.
You can
You
get them
can
fresh. Go
you
ahead.
can specifically buy fresh, but normally those are going to be sold at stores that are closer to those processing plants because of your transportation time in your food trucks, right? It's safer to haul a frozen turkey multiple hours away to a grocery store than it would be to haul a fresh one in that's only going to be good for a couple of days. Outside of Marietta, we do have kind of a local food establishment that will sell fresh turkeys. So you can actually go in and specifically order a fresh turkey that you pick up 2 days before Thanksgiving. So there are those options as well.
Is the taste different? Has anyone said to you that the taste is different buying a fresh one versus getting a frozen one?
I've not heard that.
Okay.
A lot of times people are ordering fresh. It's for the convenience of not thawing it. Buying local is a big draw for buying
I
fresh.
see.
And then also a lot of times some places will have it all tied up and the way people want it dressed, the way people want it. So you can, be specific in your requests. There was another reason I was thinking, I just forgot about. Amanda, can you think of another reason to buy local? Buy fresh. Yeah, I've not heard anyone say that they like the taste better, but just the ease of putting it in their refrigerator and then supporting a local farmer or business. So Amanda had some tips on how to stuff a turkey, which is kind of a little bit of a debate nowadays. Do you like your turkey stuffed or unstuffed? We're unstuffed at our house. I do put onion and things in it for flavor. We don't stuff our bird. What about you, Patrick?
I do believe my wife Wanda puts stuffing in there because whenever we would have large gatherings, I know that several of the family members loved stuffing. I never got used to it. So I sort of ignored how it was prepared or anything of that nature. I do know that they put, before you stuff it, they put different things inside the turkey that and until I was married, I did not know was in the turkey. And what is it? Giblets or?
Giblets, and the neck. Yeah, so
And
we
the
want to
neck?
remove those out. Yes, before we cook, we want to make sure we take those out, cook those separately, right? You can put, onions, celery, carrots. Some people will put, a quartered lemon inside of their turkey to help season. So those flavors and aromas can go out through the turkey as it cooks. There are some people who do like the stuffing cooked inside the bird. It is recommended that you do cook those separately just for food safety reasons. Some people do still like to cook their stuffing in the bird. So we want to make sure that as soon as you get your stuffing prepped, it immediately goes in. So we're not letting our stuffing sit on the counter or in the refrigerator for 2 days and then put it in the bird, right? We prep our stuffing and get it in the bird. We want to make sure that not only do we check the temperature of the turkey, but we also check the temperature of the stuffing as well. Because it is inside the turkey, we need that same temperature. So we want our stuffing to be cooked to 165 degrees. And then after you pull your turkey out of the oven, make sure you wait 20 minutes before you take the stuffing out of the bird to put it into a separate bowl to put on your table. This allows for a little more cooking as your turkey kind of sets and the temperature evens back out. So we want to make sure we get it in and make sure it's 165 degrees and then let it set for that 20 minutes before we take it out. So
That's interesting.
my family is separate. They don't want their stuffing in the bird.
Another question we get frequently is, can I cook a turkey ahead of time? And this is absolutely yes. In fact, if you are worried about oven space and time and getting it all done, this can be a really great way to, save time and space on actual Thanksgiving Day. It gets very, very busy in the kitchen, right, with all of your other side dishes and things that you're preparing. So go ahead and cook your turkey in advance. And what you want to do is slice your meat off the bone. You can leave the drumsticks, the thighs, and the wings. You want to make sure you remove all of the meat from the breastbone. And then you can refrigerate that. And when you're ready to reheat that turkey, it's really simple. You can just sprinkle some gravy or some of the juice from the turkey, some of the broth, cover it with foil, and then reheat it in your oven, about 325 in your oven. And you want to get it to a temperature of 165. So you're still going to want to use your thermometer and make sure that you have reheated your turkey to 165 to kill any bacteria or anything that may be on it. But again, like I said, a great way to save time. Keep your wings, thighs, and drumsticks together, and just slice it off the breast.
So when you cook a turkey, how long can you keep it in the refrigerator before it starts really getting bad?
After your turkey is cooked, it will stay good in your refrigerator for 3 to 4 days.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of best case scenario for refrigerating those leftovers. We want to make sure that our turkey is not setting out for any more than 2 hours.
Okay.
So that's kind of something you've got to watch for too. A lot of times people will leave their turkey set out because everybody's coming through and munching afterwards. But no more than 2 hours for food safety reasons, and get it in the fridge. It's good for 3 to 4 days. You can freeze anything left over. So I will tend to kind of cut my turkey carcass and kind of break it down into smaller pieces so it will fit in a zipper top freezer bag. So that way I can stick it in the freezer. Frozen is good for 2 to 6 months. So I can pull that out and kind of make some turkey broth and make a soup, a month or 2 later, and still know that my food is safe.
So if I were to cook a turkey today, and we're still 2-3 weeks away from Thanksgiving, after I cook that, I can put that in the freezer then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
And then you could thaw and add the broth, like Alisha said, and warm it back up. Yep.
We've mentioned a couple times the temperature that you want to cook your turkey to. Amanda mentioned it with the stuffing that you're checking. I mentioned it when you're reheating those leftovers. You want to check to 165. You want to make sure that you are using a thermometer, not the little pop-out one that comes with your turkey. I don't want to hate on those, but they are not as accurate as a real thermometer. And so I encourage you, if you don't have one, to get one. Also, a digital thermometer works. I got invested in one of those a couple years ago that you put in the turkey and then it comes out. Actually, I think they make them now so that they don't even have the wire. But just some kind of thermometer that you can accurately test the temperature of your turkey so that you know that it is done, because that is another thing you want to avoid, making people sick. Or that's another way you can avoid making people sick. So where does the thermometer go? If it's stuffed, the tip of the thermometer should be placed inside the stuffed cavity of the turkey. If it is, you want to get all the way in there and make sure you're getting the temperature in the middle of that stuffing. If your turkey is unstuffed, it has a little divot on it. You want to make sure that you're getting it inserted at least to that divot on it. It's just, you can see just a little dot. You won't be able to see it on this one, but you can look and see it on yours. It should be placed into the thigh muscle just above the lower part of the thigh bone. You want to make sure it's not touching the bone. You want to point it in toward the body. And again, you want to make sure it's not touching the bone, because we want the temperature of the meat, not the bone. So you want to get this inserted in the right place, and that you leave it there to get the reading that you want, which is for turkey, Amanda.
165.
Good job. All poultry is 165. So make sure you get a reading of 165, and then it's holding that 165 reading. That it's not, getting up there and then dropping back down. You want it to hold that 165.
So how long should you keep it at 165? About a half hour?
As soon as it hits 165, so 15 seconds.
Can you overcook a turkey?
Yes.
Dry or?
Unfortunately, yes, you can, and it gets really dry.
Yeah.
So that would be where the broth comes into play. If you always have an extra carton or can of broth, because you can add it to help bring some moisture back.
I just want to mention too, when you're testing your turkey, there may still be some pink. But if this thermometer, you don't need, so you're not relying on the pop-up, you're not relying on the color of the meat, you're relying on this. If this is 165 and you've got it in the thickest part of your bird into the meat, not on the bone, you're good. So that's a question common too, is that people say there's still a little bit of pink. Turkey, kind of like pork, has a natural, pinkness to it, and that's okay.
We always encourage to check in multiple spots as well. Check in a couple of places.
Great
Okay.
advice. And if
We only have about 2 minutes, so wanted to find out what are some other safety tips that you might have, if some items that we haven't covered yet.
wash your hands lots, before and after you're prepping your turkey. Wash your hands, wash your counter around. Do all that you can we talked about that splatter you can get from washing your turkey. Also, sometimes those juices can leak. Make sure you're getting those cleaned up and wiped up and that area sanitized.
Try to prep your salads or your vegetables or those sorts of things first before you prep your turkey. Or make sure you thoroughly clean your space in between prepping your turkey and prepping your fresh ingredients. We don't want any cross-contamination of turkey juices.
No.
And so
it really is such a great holiday. And so you just do a few things in your kitchen to ensure that you have a nice meal and that your guests are safe, your family is safe. And it can be a great memory. You'll have a fantastic turkey.
sounds great. I really appreciate all the information. That way we can have a very safe and happy Thanksgiving Day. Hey, we're talking with Amanda Bohlen. Amanda, along with Alisha Barton, are family consumer science educators with the Ohio State University. Alisha, Amanda, thank you very much and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, happy
Thank you so
Thanksgiving.
much.